G'day guys, and today Shorty and I are doing the review, which is between Geelong and Hawthorn, MCG. It's just Monday, not Sunday. And a very big win from the Cats, our biggest win over the Hawks since 1937. Thank you, Darijoe, for that nice little stat on Facebook. And it was the Cats getting home by 86 points in their second 86-point loss in a row. The fall from grace has been huge. They've fallen off a cliff, literally. And we've cashed in with a very big win and a very impressive performance from our boys, mate. And it's good to go to the game for once. And good to see that. So how did you see it unfold? It was a very satisfying game to watch, particularly in that last quarter.
Yeah, it was great, wasn't it? I mean, you always want to beat up on the old enemy. For so long they've been close encounters and ebbs and flows momentum, but on this occasion it was one-way traffic. I mean, we dominated early but couldn't quite put it on the scoreboard. At one stage, I think it was 2-11, I think you said. So,
yeah,
unbelievable conversion. I mean, just terrible, really, after against the D's was electric. So, I guess that kept him in the game to a certain extent. But I thought probably apart from maybe the first 10 or 12 minutes of the third quarter, I thought we had full control of the game. After halftime, Hawthorn did come out and put some real pressure on, and they tackled hard and got maybe back to 16 points, a slight sniff.
Yeah, sure.
But that was almost just a bit of a response and resistance out of character and pride from a proud group.
Yeah, that's right.
When in reality, their system and structures are just well off the pace. From Geelong's point of view, I thought we tackled very well. The tackles really stuck. Like, we probably were out-tackled, but just real effective tackling, and our handball was fantastic. In and around the stoppage and then breaking open outside your Parfits and Cockatoos and Duncans and Motlops, those more outside types. I thought they were probably the two key takeaways, was tackling on the inside and then the spread from stoppage with handball, which has been something we've spoken about being perhaps a negative. I thought was really good, and we looked quick down those wings and just seemed to make better decisions too. Sometimes we have the intent to handball, but the execution is just a wrong one. And we made a couple of wrong ones, but generally,
which everyone does, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Generally speaking, it was really good, and our forward line continues to function as good as it has in many years, which is great. The likes of Hawkins, Menzel, and those sort of guys really gelling together well. Taylor only played the first half in the forward line, but
common thing.
That's an experiment that continues to unravel in a way, but
shocking.
He looked far better in the back line. But look, I think overall it was a really great performance, and that last quarter was fantastic to just sit back and really enjoy it. I mean, so many times those last quarters against the Hawks are nerve-wracking. You never know which way it's going to go, but it was great to just not only sit back and enjoy it, but kick 11 goals straight, which was fantastic. You could really just soak it up, give out a bit of lip, and just really enjoy it. Those times are rare, so it was really good. And I don't think we can underrate how poor Hawthorn were as well. I mean, they turned the ball over. They second-guessed themselves at times.
Some damning moments.
Yeah, and of course this is the Geelong review, but gee, the Hawks will come under some real heat. I think we all thought they'd drop off, but not to this extent. I mean, as you said off the top, they've fallen off a cliff, and they're still falling. I mean, it's a long drop for them. So
scary.
And tough times ahead for them. But look, Geelong definitely put themselves close to the frame in that premiership window. Of course, Adelaide are the key trailblazers in that regard.
Yeah.
And the Giants, but I think we certainly pushed our case, and not only beating up on perhaps a poorer side, but the way we did it, I thought was really good. So,
I'd like to see.
Yeah, how did you see it, mate? Of course, we were both at the game for what was a rarity, but what were your thoughts?
No, you covered a lot of it, mate, which is good. So, look, the start was we were dominating, and it was frustrating that we weren't quite getting on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Just missing some really easy ones. Hawkins missed one from 15 metres out, and wasn't great to see, but look, all day I felt confident based off how Hawthorn had been going, but going into the game I was a bit nervous. I actually tipped the Hawks today, which would be ridiculous.
You missed it on cam, hey?
I said it on my tip, so it certainly would be on there.
Yeah.
But because you just never know with these clubs, even when these two sides have clashed and one side's been slightly off the pace, and they still made it pretty close just by the rivalry and how proud these groups are. So yeah, look, just a really good team performance, and what probably pleased me the most, the media and their obsession with Dangerwood, and they always say, for Geelong to play well, so wouldn't Dangerfield have to play well, and normally they do anyway, and today they probably still did play well, but they certainly did have their best games, and by their lofty standards, I'd say a very average game for them, and it was really the second tier players that stepped up. You've based yourself a type, Motlop and Duncan, and who was the other guy I was thinking of? Menegola was the other one that really stepped up. So, there's both right there. Yeah, so it really was the second tier players just taking a well scruff of the neck, and their contribution to the game was really good. And it didn't need Paddy or it didn't need Joel to play an amazing game for us to get across the line, like it sometimes may appear to be. But look, pressure was amazing, as you said. Tackles were sticking. Pressure was really good. They just got ambushed, so the Hawks were shocked, and defensive efforts were really good. A bit leaky the first few weeks, and we really made a bit of a, key area to focus on defence, and Hawthorn haven't really been scoring much lately, let's be honest. So, look, keeping the 6 goals, 12, so I'll certainly take that every day of the week, and one of their lowest scores against us. So, yeah, couldn't be much happier with that. It was like heaven. That last quarter was just like, what is happening? Is this real? I can't believe it. And Tommy Hawkins kicks his fourth, and I get out of my chair over a nice little bet. So thank you very much, Tom. If you're sitting at home watching on, just
Tommy boy, just a casual
watching the review. Yeah. So again, just great run and gun from our players for most of the day. Really, our speed was always going to be a worry for them, and they're just a very slow and uninspired side at the moment, I feel. So heart and soul's ripped out of the club that you put on the top at the start of the year. So very tough for the Hawks at this stage, and we'll take it in our stride to keep building and get some good results on the board. And so rapid the game and the result.
Yeah, it's fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I've never seen a win like this against Hawthorn in my life. So
yeah,
I'll take that on board, mate, and have it in the bank. So it'll be nice to just relive that moment.
Yeah.
Watch it again tonight, probably.
Yeah, most likely, mate.
Good stuff. Yeah. We'll go into the votes, and we might have similar ones, and I've already mentioned the players that we're probably going to be talking about.
Yeah, for sure. And as is always good, a good case is to have a fair few guys to pick from. So
it's tough.
Off the top, I gave the 3 to Motlop, actually. I think watching the game, I felt maybe Duncan was the best on ground, but looking back at the stats, I thought at first maybe Duncan was better in the first half when the game was hot, but statistically Motlop was equally as good. So I thought he was fantastic, particularly with his 7 inside 50s and his involvement in the scoreboard as well. 2 votes to Duncan. Of course, he had the 32. Such a damaging kick, which we love to see. Didn't quite do it as much last year, but starting to see it has a good season so far. And I gave 1 vote to Lockie Henderson, actually. I thought this game was really impressive. He even drifted forward. He's just so good over his head, and he's really composed too. As a key defender, he's not opposed to going around blokes or selling a bit of candy. He's quite composed. So,
yeah, he's confident. I like it.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed his game, and I could have, like you said, with Menegola, he was really great, and Sal was fantastic, Menzel and the like, and you'll probably mention a couple more too. But that was how I saw it anyway.
Nice work, mate. Can't really disagree with that. I'll go with Duncan for the 3 votes, and I've disagreed with you there already. So
you really can.
Yeah, well, there you go. 32 touches, 6 marks, 3 tackles, and a couple of goals. I thought early on when the game was hot, he really stood up and inside, outside, he did it all. So I really liked his contribution over the course of the match, and just so clean. We love to say that about Mitchy Boy, and certainly delivered on the big day. 2 to Motlop, and he would hate me for this because it's the best game he's ever played for his life, and getting the 33 touches, 4 free kicks, that's nice, and 4 tackles and 3 goals next to his name, and yeah, looked very silky, lots of run, bit of pressure, got a hold on the ball against someone with a nice tackle on the half forward flank for the Hawks, and just really loved his work. And yeah, he was pretty clean, which is what we like, mate. If you're a clean player, you're a chance to get votes. So yeah, love Motlop's work there, very nicely done. And Menegola gets the 1 vote with the 31 touches, 5 marks, 10 tackles. It's mainly always getting the vote, and also kicked a nice goal from 55. Yeah, that probably speaks for itself, really. His work on the inside was really positive, and he's just got to make this mark of his own in the midfield, fighting against Hall and Smith, basically.
Yeah.
And again, his work was really good around the stoppages, and just make some good decisions, I reckon. So.
Yeah, some good second-tier players getting some votes, which is great because we've asked for it, as you said in the top of the show. It's good to see.
Hopefully we can keep that going as a trend, not just 1 week, second tier step up, next one they step down, but that's what they are. They're second tier players.
Yeah.
We'll see how they go. We'll go on the chopping block, and you might discuss a bit of the VFL as well, a bit of the coverage there, and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess with a result like that today, there wouldn't be too many players that immediately you would say drop, but again, the one you would say is Jordan Murdoch, and I just don't think there's a spot there in the side for him. You mentioned last week how poor he was. Obviously, I didn't see the full game. Saw a full game today, and he dished up very similar. Very poor. Just doesn't get involved enough. He's not quite tough enough at the ball, but equally, he doesn't really hurt you on the outside either.
No.
Plays sort of half forward, doesn't really impact too much. Just kick the goal off the ground. So I couldn't see him holding his place. Lincoln McCarthy was dropped, and I feel like McCarthy could definitely come back in the side and play a similar role. More of your forward type, but I think he could probably just push maybe Cockatoo or something higher up onto a wing, and it'd be quite easily settled in that regard.
Whatever the heck Murdoch's playing, I don't know what he's playing. Sometimes he hangs around half back, and then they just chuck him everywhere. They've got to put him somewhere not in the team.
Yeah, for sure. And otherwise, we've probably got a bit of MRP process to go through, as well as injury. Dangerfield, at the time, we didn't realise how bad the ribs were, or back injury, whatever it is. But getting home and listening to the radio and the old man saying that there is a bit of doubt surrounding him playing next week. So you would imagine such a tough player that he probably would be a good chance to pull up, and he did play he played the rest of the game, didn't he, and played reasonably well. So I think he'd certainly still be in the frame. They might just make a judgment call on that. Parsons raised the elbow with the bump on Hodge, got in the head, so...
Yeah, it's a week, maybe two.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, if Hodge went off with a broken jaw or concussion, we'd be speaking about 3 or 4.
Yeah,
reading what you would like, but... Same goes for Ruggles, copped a massive hit on Gibson. All fair, but he was in a bad way. I'm not sure exactly what, but he wobbled off. He looked like he was definitely concussed.
Yeah, concussed big time.
Yeah, and Menengola, I think, was it Hodge? It was Hodge that he hammered into the ground as well.
Common trend here.
Really
big tackle, and he killed it still.
And he probably just... went a little bit too hard on it.
Yeah, didn't have to, as you said, at the game.
And that's one they're really trying to iron out. So
he might get it.
I think
there for a week.
Yeah. So then, who's going to come in? Well, I said McCarthy would definitely be a good chance. Hall Smith
would probably the next one,
also be a very good chance. And then, it's going to be difficult to say.
Busey?
Probably, possibly Buse. Cowan, you would have to say.
Yeah.
He's on the fringe, and whether Stanley gets a run. I'm not too sure whether they talk about smalls versus talls. They might think, maybe it's better to go for a more quality tall than perhaps give a chance to maybe abuse or a Hable or something like that, or someone in the twos. So it would be interesting, particularly if a few of those guys do get rubbed out. So that'll be a wait and see process, but reasonable amount of depth there, and the injury front is looking all right too, which is good to see.
Good.
Yeah.
So when's Scooter back?
He's training. Yeah, he's training, but I don't think he played VFL. I don't think. I would have to double check that. Certainly wasn't named in the best. So, but that's a good point. He's probably a guy who would come in if available. So, not too sure. Not too sure.
Good enough.
And also whether Taylor plays permanent back. Thurlow and Tom Stewart might be receiving some heat in regards to that back post position.
Yeah, sure played it right. Only got 8 touches, but nice goal on the run.
Yeah, definitely. But we've got the Saints next week anyway, mate. So that should be a really interesting encounter.
Yes. They've troubled us the last few times, the Saints. What was it? They won by a goal or 3 points last time, and then they drew the year before that. So they love us at Etihad at the moment. I still haven't even thought about who would win this game. might depend if Darijoe plays or not, but look, the Saints love Etihad. We've been in reasonable form, haven't been in amazing form, and done pretty well there. Overall as a record. Yeah, gosh, mate, I don't know. I'm on the spot now, Phil. I don't really know who to pick. It'll be a bit of a 50-50 game. We'll go on his favourites, and St Kilda will obviously be the underdog, but look, I'm certainly not underestimating them, and maybe we'll just go us by 2 points or something like that, and see how we go. But yeah, their running game can really trouble us, and they got in behind us a little bit the last couple of times, so which can be a little bit of a bit of a downfall for our defence. But if we bring our best footy, we'll win maybe 4 or 5 goals. If we bring reasonable footy, might get across the line. If we don't show up, Saints will get the job done.
Yeah.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, all things being equal, we're a better side than them, so I would imagine we should be able to get the job done, but certainly we're in good form, but you couldn't say hand on heart that we're a top 4 side, lock it away. So
as Scotty says, we haven't deserved the right or earned the right to be considered the top 4 team.
So I don't think we could sit here and say that we'll definitely show up and we'll definitely play top 4 footy that we are capable of.
Yep.
But I also don't think the Saints are tracking as well as maybe they would like. They'd certainly like to be kicking a bit straighter, but I think it runs a bit deeper than that as well. They haven't been as impressive as maybe they would have liked. But
how's Carlisle been? Have you heard much better than
Who's that, sorry?
Jakey Carlisle, yeah. I've seen a bit of him, but I haven't seen him impact the game too much.
Yeah, I was listening to the game on the weekend. They said he was quite good. At least the first half was. I got out of the car at half time.
I haven't heard about him at all on the footy shows. They haven't talked about him.
No. Must be just playing his role.
Doing the job.
Yeah, nothing too fantastic. But
nice.
Yeah, I would definitely be leaning towards us with a reasonable amount of confidence. I just think I was really impressed today. I mean, poor opposition or not, and they play Etihad well. If you want to say the Saints are the best Etihad side in the comp, I think we'd probably be close to second. So, definitely a good side there as well. So I think reasonable amount of confidence going to the game, but certainly, as you said, not dismissing what they're capable of and the fact that they have shown that their game style does trouble us in recent time. So,
yeah,
very interesting.
Quite sketchy on the Saints. They can really turn it up against us, and maybe that was when we took teams lightly. Hopefully we don't.
Yeah, like Melbourne, it's just one of those mini tests against an rising side. So it'll be very good to see how we come out against them, because I think they'll be up for us.
Yeah, they've been the last couple of times, and hopefully not this time as much.
No, hopefully not.
Alright, that's the review, guys. Thanks for joining in, and don't forget to give the video a like, share around, and subscribe as well. Darijoe's been uploading the Geelong video highlights each week, so I'll chuck that link in the description. So if you want to check out how many goals we kicked, 11 in the final term. So I reckon that video will go off this week. So get around that, and thanks for joining in once again. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.